Who are you? Typically, when we answer that question, we say something like, I'm Diogenes, and I'm a cynic with a vlog series, or something of that sort. If the conversation escalates, we may embellish it with more detail to paint a clearer picture. Further, if the dialogue is with a friend or a romantic partner, more intimate details will be brought in to create an even sharper picture to the question, who are you? With intimate relationships or friendships, memories are shared, deep secrets, a life story. But this just begs the question, is any of that who you are? I mean, essentially, fundamentally. Let's break it down. What does it mean to say, I am Diogenes? Really, that is my name. But a name is just an utterance, a vocalization of noises. I could just as well have been Filbert, or Peggy Sue, or Black. These are just noises that attempt to point to an actual something or someone. Your name indicates you, but it doesn't confine you. Well then, I am what I do, right? The social roles, I assume. I am this guy who has the vlog series you're now watching. But for 30-something years, I have not done this vlog, and presumably I still was who I think I am, namely, myself. What will I be? What will any of us be when we retire from that what we do? Will we still be who we are when we are no longer doing what we do? No wonder people go into crisis when they transition out of the social role they used to define themselves. Retirees, empty nester, veterans. The doing's been done. So who am I now? Well then, maybe I am the connected story of all that I've done, sort of like a souped-up resume, the story of my life. That is me. But again, the story of what I do is just a story, a historical account of things done by that entity I call me. To identify with a story is to identify with a past that doesn't even exist anymore, except a narrative. Indeed, it is the story of me, but not actually me. Well then, I am my thoughts, the entirety of my mental content, my memories, my hopes, my dreams. Cogito ergo sum. But my thoughts are merely neurological reactions to the stimuli of the environment. Without that stimuli, how could I have drudged up any thoughts to begin with? So one has the overwhelming problem of defining where the external stimuli ends and where they themselves begin. It's a bit presumptuous to distinguish one's thoughts from the stimuli that triggered those neurological impulses, creating thoughts. Here, I'll prove it. Try not to think of your father dressed in drag. So who are you? I must continue to ask. An identity crisis seems to be an inevitability, but may I offer a way of looking at the question? Try this. What if I am a convergence of cosmic energies engaged in a creative process that has temporarily assumed a certain form on this tiny dash between my birth and death? I am not a clearly defined entity, but a continuation of a creative process that began some 13 billion years ago, a transient manifestation of all the energies of the universe, at this moment posing as a cynic with a vlog. Think about it. Suppose you experience some abuse in your life from an overbearing parent, or a bully at school, or a mentally unstable boss. Don't those energies become you in a way? They can manifest as anxiety or depression or obsessive thoughts, even actions. But are those mental states so much you or a coalescence of energies filtering through you? They can affect the way you feel about yourself and the way you relate to the world and the choices you make. These abusive energies are often the imposition of another's narrative on your creative process. Movements that aim to counter these energies become just as tyrannical. Positive thinking movements, self-esteem movements, the law of attraction crowd. They become restrictive, imposing a sense of guilt on the expression of certain emotions deemed negative. Take the following list of emotions: anger, depression, grief, loneliness, shame, distrust, discontent. There is absolutely nothing wrong with any of those emotions in and of themselves. They are your life's way of communicating something to you. They're communicating an imbalance, as if to say, there's something wrong, and you need to find out what it is. Recall the author of The Secret saying that through her greatest despair came her greatest joy. Well, maybe her despair was a necessary stage to go through in order for her to change her path leading to her greatest joy. We need to get angry. Angry at the tyrants within and among us as a signal that they crossed a moral boundary. We need guilt to remind us of our own moral boundaries. Are we to use religion or New Age spirituality as a numbing agent to assuage the very emotional signals that are there to push us in a better direction? Doesn't sound very positive at all. In fact, it sounds downright tyrannical. Tyranny can come in many forms. Addictions, dictators, abusive people, peer pressure, uncritical positive thinking seminars, blind pessimism, religion. These tyrants, even the ones in your own mind, all deal in narratives. The greatest task in your life is to reclaim your creative energies from these tyrants and listen to what was poetically called that still small voice within. That still small voice is the voice of your muses cajoling you toward a greater journey. So briefly, I would like to suggest a quick, to-the-point phrase on dealing with tyrants in your life for anyone trying to come out of the closet or a kid trying to assert himself against a bully or an overbearing authority figure. Perhaps it can be a mantra. I cannot let your shallow narrative dictate the flow of my creative process. Suppose we could see ourselves as instruments through which the universe plays a certain kind of music, a kind of music which is a part of a larger symphony of existence. In this way, we are all connected. Perhaps the moral aim in life is simply to tune your instrument in such a way that life's true cosmic intention via a creative process can find its way of playing through you, its small piece of the living symphony. There's no tyranny behind this. Only the infinite dance of player and muse, of person and universe, of life, death, and the infinite song.
They've been trying to preach me, trying not to swallow, but the rhymes made easy all the words that I know.